Disney family, thanks for stopping by for another episode of For the Love of the Mouse. I'm Crystal, and today we are going to talk about planning a Disney trip on a budget. There are so many different things that you should know when planning a Disney trip on a budget, and we are today going to hit some of the highlights of those. Maybe we'll do a more in-depth vlog in the future. I'm actually in the midst of planning a Disney trip on a budget with my mom here for about a week in March, so we're really excited about that. So I'll probably be back with some more tips and tricks on how that's going. But let's get started with some of the bigger things. First of all, let's start with these fabulous ears I'm wearing. These are my brand new ears I just got for our upcoming trip. You guys know how much, if you follow our blog for Love of the Mouse, you know how much I love the partner statue. And Alyssa's ears had these great ears and she customized them for me. And I love them. I think they're really cute. They're really well made. The bow is really large, but I think I'm fine with it. Who doesn't love a big bow? And I think that they're absolutely fabulous. And like I said, they're really well made and they're pretty comfortable. So check out her Etsy shop. But before we talk more about ears and before I go down that rabbit hole, let's get started on our topic for the day. Look for deals. So go to the Disney website. I know that a lot of people do some planning off of the site, and we're going to talk about that later because we actually have a trip coming up where we're doing that as well. But for the purposes of this video, and I do think for some of the best ways to find a deal, especially if you've not navigated Disney multiple times and this is one of your first trips, I do highly recommend using the Disney site. They walk you through everything. They'll talk you through everything. They have amazing customer service. So I highly recommend using this site. But like I said, stay tuned because we are doing a trip where we are using an off Disney site, and we actually saved a ton of money on that as well. So stay tuned for that coming up. And we were able to use some borrowed DVC points, purchase DVC points for that. The Disney site offers some great deals. We're annual pass holders and they offer annual pass holder deals. They offer Florida resident deals. They'll offer deals depending on what time of the year you're going. So look for that. Another great tip is if you're not going to be spending a ton of time at a resort and you don't mind a little construction and a little extra noise and you're really just kind of using it for a bed but want to stay on property, stay at a resort that's under construction because you're going to get some great deals. A couple years ago, we stayed at Animal Kingdom Kidani Village when it was under construction, and we were able to stay there for a fraction of what we would have stayed now or when it wasn't under construction. So that's a really great tip. If you are going to be spending a ton of time at your resort, maybe you have a little baby who has or a child who has a specific sleep schedule and that's during the day, you may want to avoid some of those construction resorts because there is going to be a little bit of noise. I think that the noise is pretty minimal, but I know that some people have some complaints about it, especially those with little ones, so be sure to keep that in mind. Another great tip: be flexible. Be flexible if you are able to do so, even if that just means a couple days. So my mom and I are planning our trip and we wanted to leave on a Sunday. We're actually ending up leaving on a Tuesday because we just decided to have that flexibility because the flights were really expensive because we were booking only a couple of months in advance. And so by having that little bit of flexibility within that time frame there, we were able to save a couple $100 on that. So that's a really great way to do it. Book your flights first if you have that option, and that way you can get as cheap of a Disney flight as possible. Cheap flights to Orlando are few and far between for many of us, especially those of us who live rather far away. We are in Colorado, so it's quite the flight. So it's really hard to find a good deal. The best way to do it is start shopping in advance. The best way to plan a Disney trip is to be prepared and to be prepared to go in advance. Plan that trip up to a year in advance. We're only going a couple months from now, and so we really didn't have any flexibility in terms of what we were going to pay because those flights go up, and once they start going up, they really don't go back down. So that was a little bit of a negative for our Disney trip. But for you, if you have the availability, do plan out in advance and look at those flights as early as possible, because you definitely can find some deals, some hidden gems. Look on Tuesdays, look on Thursdays. Those are the days that the airlines typically reduce their flights, so definitely check on that as well. Also, be flexible with your resort if you have that availability. Maybe don't go in it with like, we have to stay at this resort, because especially if it's a deluxe resort or a moderate resort and it's a busier time of year, you're going to be paying a premium to be staying at those resorts during that time of year. If you're only using your resort as a bed, which we typically tend to do, we're getting a little better about it and starting to enjoy our resort more. But if you're really only going to be using your resort as a bed and maybe a place to grab a snack and maybe not even use the pool, then you should be really looking at those discounted resorts. Check out the All-Star resorts. Check out Art of Animation really is more of a moderate resort, but check out those cheaper resorts and check out the resorts that are under construction, because you're going to get that deal, and if you're only using it as a bed, it's perfect for you. Another great tip is to get a gift card for your food, or even for the purchases that you're going to make in the parks. Get a gift card. We get these little gift cards that come on a wristband, especially for the festivals, the food festival, like Epcot Food and Wine. We're going to do it when we go to the Flower and Garden coming up, and that just really helps us to keep track of what we're spending. You can, trust me, you can walk from kiosk to kiosk to kiosk to kiosk, especially during Food and Wine, and the next thing you know, you've spent several $100s on food and drink. And you think you may laugh, but it happens, trust me, because the portions aren't huge, and you get so caught up in filling out your passport and doing all of that the next thing you know, you're a few $100s in. So if you have a certain amount of money on one of those gift cards, you're going to be better able to keep track. And once it's gone, maybe if you have that resolve that once it's gone, then that'll help you to budget that a little bit better. Don't get a park hopper. That's going to save you a little bit of money. If you're going and maybe you really want to make sure that you catch the same fireworks show or whatever have you every night, get a park hopper. But when we're going here, my mom and I are going in March, we decided to only do one park day. It saved her some money. I didn't need a park pass, so this was just for my mom because we have my annual pass holder. But by just getting a single day ticket, we were able to save a lot of money, and it's going to help us have a more relaxed vacation because we're not going to be running here for this and running here for that and running here for that. So we're only going to be doing one park a day. Another great tip, we're also going to have a resort hop day. So resort hopping, Disney Springs, and pool days, if you're in that season, they're not going to cost you any extra. So those days, if you have the availability and your group is wanting to do something like that, that is a great way to have a really fun day exploring Disney, but not having to spend the extra money for a park ticket for that day. So park hopping can take an entire day, and there's so many great things you can do on a park park hopping, resort hopping. Park hopping is not going to save you any money, but if you resort hop, you're going to get to see a lot of great resorts. You can use Disney transportation, which is not going to cost you any extra money, and you can save some money there because you're not buying that park ticket. Another great tip is to use Disney transportation. Use the monorail system. Use the Magical Express. That's going to save you a ton of money. If you're not getting a rental car, you can use the Magical Express, and if you're staying on property, and that's not going to charge you any extra money. It's a Disney complimentary thing. So you're able to use that, and it's going to save you a ton of money. If you get an Uber, trust me, it's going to cost you at least $50 to go to a Disney resort. So that's going to save you a lot, and it's a hassle-free way to travel. They're going to take your bags if you travel between the right hours. They're going to take your bags directly from the plane or from the carousel to your resort. You're not going to have to worry about that at all. All you have to worry about are your carry-ons. You get on the bus, you sit there for a while, and then you get to your resort and you're there and you haven't paid any extra. So that's a great way. Use the bus system. Disney's bus system is actually really, really efficient. I know that bus systems have kind of a bad rap, but the bus systems at Disney are really efficient, and they will take you anywhere you want to go. If you're staying at a resort that has a boat, use the boat. The boats are super fun. If you've watched any of our other videos where I've talked about it, or followed any of our blog posts about resort hopping, the boat is probably my favorite way to travel, and that is how we are going to be resort hopping when my mom and I go in March, because I love it so much. And we spent an entire day, my husband and I, when we went for Christmas, resort hopping around the Monorail Resort and Wilderness, taking boats. So we took a boat to the Polynesian, and then we took a boat back to the Magic Kingdom, and then we took a boat to Wilderness, and it was just a great way to get around, and it was really fun, and it's relaxing, and it's beautiful, and you get to see some things you might not normally get to see. So those are some high-level tips and tricks on how to save money when planning a Walt Disney trip. I hope this helped you out. Would love to know some of your tips and tricks for saving money at Walt Disney World, so let us know those in the comments, and also let us know where your favorite resorts are to stay and what you think about staying at a resort that's under construction. Thank you for stopping by, and for the love of the mouse, never forget that it all started with a mouse.